What's up, everybody? This is John, aka Cowboy. We got Sam, aka Sweaty Boy. We are gonna recap day 2 of March Madness. We had it wasn't as crazy as yesterday, but we did have one major upset today that we personally love. But we're not gonna get into that just yet. So let's get into it, man. Speaking of it, we didn't get into it last night because it was a later game. Did Sanford get hosed against Kansas?
Yeah, they kinda did. I mean, can Samford hung with them, all game pretty much, and, Kansas, I don't know, maybe there was a little bit of foul play
I'm
there.
about to say that
What do
was
you
all
think?
ball. That was all ball. I mean, it definitely do I think Stanford could have won the well, if they would have got the block, they would have won the game. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they would have kind of had a shot.
It
They
definitely
could
was all
easily
ball.
they could have easily got that rebound and maybe put up a shot, but fouling Kansas, giving them 2 free throws was the end of the game.
Well, like you said, it was another eventful day, it's still going on, but second full day, we're still in the round of 64. Alabama just finished up for those kinda thinking wondering where we are in the day recording right now. The day started off
It was pretty eventful.
Northwestern taking on FAU. FAU choked
They
big
did.
time.
No, they did. They played really good in regulation, and then they got to overtime. And my God, how many points did they score in overtime? Only scored 7 points in overtime compared to Northwestern's 19. And for the longest, they stayed at 59 points. They didn't jump up. They stayed at 59 points. FAU, who I thought maybe had a chance to be kind of a sleeper pick, not to, but kind of like last year, go to the final, like Sweet 16, Elite Eight. But my God, they couldn't stop Ryan Langborg from Northwestern with 27 points, 11 from 19 from the field. I mean, that dude, he just lit up Florida Atlantic. They just couldn't do nothing against them. I think Florida Atlantic, they underachieved so bad this year. If you look at the fact that they brought back everybody from that Final
Yeah.
Four team last
Yeah, absolutely. You almost wonder, man, did they just get hot at the right time last postseason? That may be what it was because this season, like you said, definitely an underachievement. They lose to Northwestern. Northwestern moves on to the second round, 77-65, the
Let me
final
ask
of
you,
that game.
do we see Dustin Mays as Florida Atlantic's head coach next year? I've seen rumors Vanderbilt. I don't know how true that is.
I wonder just how attractive of a job Vanderbilt is
I
to
definitely
him.
think if I'm a Power 5 school, Dustin May, he's my first call.
I could agree to that for sure.
I
I
mean,
just wonder would he go to Vandy?
I know,
Would he go
but
to Vandy?
I'm curious what other Power 5 jobs. Ohio State, they basically kept the interim head coach. They just took the interim off. So I'll be excited to see who they got. Let's move to that second game. It was kind of a snooze fest. You had Baylor and Colgate, the toothpaste. Well, the toothpaste was sour. It was 92 to 67. Baylor beat Colgate. I mean, I guess they're what's another toothpaste?
You got Crest, you
Crest.
got
I guess,
Oral-B.
or they use Oral B. Use Oral B.
They
The
need some Sensodyne 'cause, they were not, keeping up with Baylor. It was all Baylor Bears, 92-67 over there must have been some orange flavored Colgate. You ever had that orange flavored toothpaste? Not does
yes,
not go well.
they just they were saying all game. Colgate's supposed to have this tough defense. It's going to be kind of a good matchup for Baylor. Yeah, my ass. Um, Speaking of, I just got a notification. You only have 3 remaining brackets after the Alabama game. I was a little shocked that many people picked Charles.
I thought I saw a little kids was, like, alive right now, like a Yale fan, a little kid. Maybe it was just a meme, I don't
I
know.
saw Roll Tide Willie is he's perfect right now. It
I wouldn't it
because
wouldn't, it wouldn't shock me.
all he put was Alabama
Bam off of
because he don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Um, Next game,
Speaking of Alabama, not quite the Tide, but the other team,
the
the
Blazers,
other team,
kind of Alabama, University of
sort
Alabama
of.
at Birmingham, um, at Birmingham.
Yeah, UAB, this was, I mean, of the first half of the day, this was the best game. I mean, it was San Diego State controlled the majority of the game, but there in the second half of the game, UAB came back and took the lead a couple of times. They just couldn't hold on to it. San Diego State comes back at the end and
I truly
puts the
thought
dagger in.
that UAB was gonna win it. I did. I had
I
really
did too.
I thought UAB was gonna win it. Unfortunately, they did not. I hate it, with them being a state friend. If I've gotta pick one school in the state that's not South Alabama, I'm gonna be friends with, it's gonna be UAB. Blaze on. I love Call Me Blazer. I don't know what is their mascot now. I know it's a
I think his name is Blaze.
that's poor writing, I'm gonna be honest. That's
I
just
don't know, I think it's a pretty cool name. It's boring, but I mean, it makes sense, like,
no, I mean, I get he's a
Blaze,
blazer, but Blaze the
Blaze.
Blazer.
That's true.
Could have been laser, I don't
Oh,
know.
I just wonder, like, what is, because I learned I got a history lesson of UAB not too long ago. Apparently, they had always been the Blazers, but they never were a dragon until, like, the '80s or '90s. So a blazer referred to something else, and they were just like, "Let's make it a dragon."
Every
That's
time
a
I
blazer.
every time I hear Blazer, I think of dodgeball when, Ben Stiller brings out his team and goes, "Blazer, Blazer, Jason." He just he starts rolling them out. Well, let's move on to the next game. It kinda was a close game in the first half. Marquette over Western Kentucky, 87-69. At halftime, Western Kentucky was up 43-36. But Marquette is kind of like Alabama, what Avery Johnson said a couple years ago. They're a tale of two teams. In the second half, they outscored Western Kentucky 51-26. I'm- What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this was Marquette just coming back and doing what they were supposed to do. I will say our man B. John Robinson's bracket is busted
It's
now.
busted. I hate it. Fellow Falcon is just I hate it, but you know, good run. I've never seen a celebrity go that long.
I mean, who knows? I think maybe, that one was just reported. Maybe, maybe Charlie Sheen, w made, made a
Mm,
correct Final Four one time.
I kind of think Greta Thunberg, but she's talking
Al
about
Gore most definitely made a perfect bracket. He just never reported
no. Well, I mean, even his Final Four is Man, Bear, Pig, global
it.
warming, and Man, Bear. I'm so serious.
Cereal.
I'm so cereal guy. No one takes me cereal. Um, Next one. I'm a little shocked at this. I kind of thought it was going to be a upset. Clemson over New Mexico. Clemson kind of dominated. Beat them
Yeah, they
6.
did.
They rescued the 6 over 11 because yesterday they were 0-2, 6-11. Well, they put that to rest, beating the Mountain West University of New Mexico 77-56. This was a strong win by Clemson.
Yeah, big statement by the Tigers. New Mexico's not a bad team, but yeah, Clemson controlled majority of the game for sure. 77-56. Joseph Nelly Jr.
Nelly, here
14 points
we go.
for the Lobos.
It was just I mean
Chase Hunter 21.
turnovers is what killed New Mexico State. They had 13 turnovers. Out of those 13 turnovers, that's 19 points off of turnovers. I mean, that stuff adds up, man.
Hey, Alabama fans, you and I know that well.
This next stats we really know well. Went 15 from 23 from free throws from the line. We know
Another
that.
certain team from Alabama is going to be upset when we talk about that. Moving on to the next game, though, this one was another snooze fest. UConn absolutely destroyed
As they
the
should.
Stetson
I was gonna
Hatters. I
say,
mean, as they should. Yeah, it's a 16 seed against arguably the best team in the country. I mean, there's not much more you could speak on
I'm
that
gonna
one.
be honest. Out of the 2 days, because I mean, these next games, I'm not gonna say teams that are impressed me as much as these two. UConn and North Carolina has really impressed me. They UConn I was not shoving. North Carolina yesterday, of course, they play 16 seed Wagner, but still, they did a pretty good showing. Now let's get into some fun.
No, you've been waiting for this one.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna get too much into it. I'm not gonna get much into it. Yesterday we had by the way, the SEC looks terrible. Thank God for Texas
Oh my
A&M and
goodness.
Alabama. So yesterday we had Kentucky go down as the big upset. Everybody
As
was
the
up
3 seed.
as a 3 seed, and then today you had 13 seed the Yale Board Bulldogs over 4 seed Auburn. Man, let me just tell you, it started off with a bang today. Chad Baker Mazada, is that how you pronounce it?
Mazzaro.
Zara, my bad. Comes out and did they hit it? Yeah, it was a little. I mean, it wasn't as bad as what he did, but for him
Yeah,
to run down the court in front of the ref and I mean, square up his body, and I don't know how you can defend that, in my opinion.
and let's be real. You and I probably don't wanna admit it, but that may have been the difference in the game. I mean, this was a
No,
two-point
I
game.
definitely.
You
I
keep
mean,
Chad Baker Mazzaro in the game, Auburn probably wins it. You get a lot more production.
that definitely
Um,
messed up their depth. It messed up the lineups and all that.
100%. And it was a retaliation, but like you said, should not have been done whatsoever. You're in March Madness. Play smarter than that.
It in the beginning of the game, you do it in front of the
Shut it
ref.
out.
What are you doing? If you wanna do that while there's a kind of like, everybody's down under the goal. You don't run down the court, square your shoulders up, and then cock it. I mean, I don't understand that.
Archer quit. Yeah, I don't either. Definitely not a good look for Mazzaro. But let's talk about Yale. I mean, look, they came out with a game plan. They were not scared whatsoever of Auburn. John Pulakidis, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not really sure. 28 points on the game, 10 of 15 on field goals. I mean, had himself a game. Yale in general, look, I mean, and Auburn had plenty of opportunities to take the game away
Oh my
and just
gosh,
never
there's
did.
so many at the end, so many at the end. Broome couldn't do it, Donaldson couldn't do it. I
And
mean,
what killed them was we just talked about it a minute ago, the free throw line. I mean, you had an opportunity at the very end. You missed both free throws, and that's game pretty much.
you had the chance. You out rebounded Yale.
Archer, come
Yale
here.
went 21 for 31 at the free throw line. They went 9 for 20 at the threes. You had a chance. You had a chance. But this is what gets them though. Hear me out. Auburn had 14 turnovers, 15 points off of turnovers. That is the stuff that hurt them. But you had 32 points. You could win. You win inside every time, and nobody can stop you. I just,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
truly,
this was, I mean, this is March Madness right here. What does this say about this Auburn team?
um,
This is an utter letdown. I mean, you were
Oh,
expecting to be
I
an Elite Eight team.
oh, it's definitely a let I'm trying to think of what, like it's definitely a letdown. It's a waste of a season. It's more of a waste of a season than Alabama was last year. I'm being
Oh, for
100%.
sure. Because I mean, at least Alabama went to the Sweet 16. I mean, you're out in the round of
This is
64
probably the
to Yale.
worst. When they had Jabari Smith, they at least went to the second. You lost in the first round to Yale. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from Yale, but come on. Y'all should have easily beat them. You had multiple opportunities to beat
Yeah, this was Auburn's game to win. I mean, this was a team that was, I mean, so hot through the SEC tournament. And you almost wonder maybe if the travel all the way from Nashville all the way up to Spokane, maybe that did something, a little bit of a break. Maybe that heat was taken off a little bit. I don't know, but Auburn's season is done and it's by 2 points.
them.
But another fan,
I'm gonna tell you one thing I liked. John Broome said after the SEC championship, we're not gonna lose another game.
I
Football.
think he confused
Oh.
losing and winning.
So yeah, let's move on to another SEC team that I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch this game. I didn't watch the ending of it because I was watching Auburn, of course, but I
I
saw
was
the
flipping
highlights.
I was flipping between this game and the Auburn game. Both ended right around the same time.
We're talking
Um,
about number 10 seed Colorado over Florida 7 seed 102 to 100.
This was an offensive battle for sure. Florida controlled the first half, Colorado controlled the second half, and then here comes Florida inching back with a few minutes left. And under a minute, Walter Clayton Jr. hits a game tying three to make it 100 apiece. There's 6 seconds left, and the defense just cannot hold on. Colorado makes a quick 2 pointer. And by that point, there's only like 1.3 seconds left in the game or something like that. Florida just had to heave it up, and it was unsuccessful. Crazy offensive game. Definitely a letdown for Todd Golden's group for sure. But
Was that a shove off? Was that a shove off?
I didn't get a good look because I was watching it on my phone.
It looked like a shove off, kind of, in my opinion, when
Might have
he
been.
went in and but not trying to be one of those, "Well, we lost to the Zebras tonight." Saw an Auburn fan say that. "We lost to the but I think Florida had it shot, but let's be honest, though. We all knew Florida wasn't gonna make it past the first round after losing their stars.
Yeah,
Oh,
Micah Hanlockton was that was I mean, he's such a big piece. I mean, he gets majority of the rebounds, and I mean, not having him that hurt. That hurt for sure.
no, it did. Well, hey, we got another SEC team up here, and thank God they gave us the second win. They gave us the second win. Beat the dog out of the Cornhuskers. Give me A&M, Texas A&M, 9 seed over 8 seed Nebraska, 98 to 83. Massive win for the SEC. My God, they get off the cold streak. You had the upsets in Auburn, Kentucky, Mississippi State. I mean, we needed this badly. South Carolina got beat crap out of yesterday. SEC needed this bad, and A&M and Buzz Williams, he delivered today. With Wade
Yeah, he
had
did.
3 separate teammates on Texas A&M scored 20 plus.
Yeah, great performance by the Aggies. Wade Taylor led them 25 points on the game. Um, yeah, just a good performance overall. Um, thank God that there's so this is what SEC is now what 3-5 I
Yes,
believe in the
yes,
round of
yes, yes,
64.
yes, yes.
3-5. So I mean,
Not a winning record, but better than 1-7 like I thought we might have been.
yeah, yeah, the writing was on the wall for uh, all but almost all teams knocked out in the first round. So thank God for Tennessee, Alabama, and A&M. Vermont and Duke.
It started a
It,
little.
it started off a little bit upset
It's
alert.
a game me and you have been kinda talking like, just watch out. Like, we're not saying upset, but it's not gonna be a blowout like you would think it is.
Yeah. Of course, Duke, rolls on. This was not a high scoring game by any means.
Vermont
64 to 47.
scored 18 points in the second half. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anybody was expecting the upset on this one here. Um, but it didn't happen. Duke rolls. I don't want to say rolls because again, it wasn't very offensive, but it's a win for the Blue
Duke
Devils.
Duke is, I'll tell you, if I'm Duke, I'm scared right now because you are playing the winner of James Madison and Wisconsin. I don't know if you've looked, Wisconsin is, beating the crap. Oh, not Wisconsin. James Madison is beating the crap out of Wisconsin, 33 to 20.
Hmm.
So yeah, looking good right now for the Dukes of James Madison. Let's move on to a 1 seed. Kind of was one of those like, oh my god, is it really going to happen again? Is it really going to happen again? Purdue Boilermakers versus Grambling State. They struggled for a
Yeah,
minute
they
there.
did.
They struggled. I was like, oh my god, this is about to be 2 years in a row, 1 seed, and that 1 seed being the same team.
Look,
Um,
this team is hardly anything without Zach Edey. Um, 30 points on the game for him. That was basically the difference in the game. So yeah, struggle for Purdue. I don't know if this team's primed to make much of a run. I'm gonna be honest. They could, but
I'm never big on Purdue in
yeah.
I'm 2 teams I'm never big on in March Madness. That's Purdue and Gonzaga. I'm never big on those 2. Past Sweet 16, they never do it. Zach Edey has the makeup of someone that's gonna play either in the G League forever or overseas. with 30 points and 21 rebounds. Like, I'm just telling you, Zach Edey will not play in the NBA. I just really do not believe he will play in the NBA. But let's move on. We got another game. Oh, and that game being
I'm holding a
I'm
Florida
about
cup, but come
to
on.
say, I was like, what are you about to say? No. Alabama beat Charleston 109-96. Score don't show it, but I'm gonna be 100% honest. That game was a beatdown. That game turned into a blowout.
This
Charleston, yes, they scored six. They really realized it. They scored 62 points in the second half.
this was a offensive. I mean, look, it was low level defensive play all night long from both teams, especially on Charleston. But I mean, this was, first half of the season Alabama offense just on fire. I mean, you had guys hitting the 3 point. The 3 point came back suddenly. I don't know what happened, but we were able to hit the 3 point again. Um, and there were some struggles. There were some struggles. Grant Nelson. I know you've got some words to say about him and
My
tonight, but
God. Ask me what a rebound is, because a rebound is when you go up with two hands and you grab it and you come down with it. Well, they got 17 offensive rebounds. If it was, I'm just putting this out here. If this was anybody else, St. Mary's, we would have lost, because when you give them 17 second chance points, oh my God, oh my God, they're gonna execute them. They're gonna execute them every time.
yeah, this was just Alabama benefited from just lack of defense on
We were hot.
Charleston.
I mean, I'll just be honest. We was hot, and
Yeah, yeah.
as an avid, we were 13 for 23 from three, 36 from 60 from the field. They were 32 and 78. They had 18 more shots than we, because of course 17 offensive rebounds, which is unheard of in these kind of games when you have a team with. I'm not trying to take nothing away from Charleston, but they're such a smaller school. We have
Mm.
so much more talent than they do, and they still was able to out rebound us 42-34. I'm just telling you, I'm so scared for next game as an avid Alabama fan. My God, what happens when we're really hot one game? What happens the next game?
Yeah, yeah, look, you wonder if this is a confidence boosting game for Alabama because it almost seemed like they needed it, but, you still got, 5 more games to play if you wanna win a national championship, um, so it doesn't get any easier whatsoever. Defense. Look, and there were times where defense did play good. Mark Sears had a fantastic game, had a few steals, but overall, I agree with you. But look, it's a solid win for Alabama. Went out there, won the game, did what you needed to do.
Alabama fan asking Alabama fan, does this team feel like a Sweet 16 team playing North Carolina?
I don't know if I get that. I don't know if I can make that determination yet. I really don't.
No,
I
I see
don't
what
know.
you're saying. I see what you're saying. Who would you rather play Sunday? Grand Canyon or St. Mary's? Both good on.
Probably Grand Canyon.
I'd rather
They're a great offensive team.
we match
Uh,
up better with them, because St. Mary's wants to slow us down.
yeah.
With our offense, run and gun, run and gun, run and gun. We don't want to. I think we would have had a tougher matchup with Yale than Auburn.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. But that is the last complete game on the day. We got a few others going on right now. Longwood
Yeah.
taking on Houston,
I
16
personally
versus
still like
1.
I still like Moorhead, but
You just like Moorhead over Longwood.
I'm a
Maybe Longwood's for the females. Who knows?
I'm a
But they're getting destroyed by Houston, as expected, 43-16 at the half. James Madison, as you said, 33-20 at the half over the Wisconsin Badgers. And then TCU, the 9 seed, taking on the 8 seed in the Midwest region, 23-22. They are in the 8 minutes left in the first.
You wanna
And
talk
then
about your conference not doing well? The Mountain West.
what's
Remember,
the record for the Mountain West right now?
I think they only have 1 win, and that 1 win being
Mm.
San Diego State.
And could have been close to being an offer then.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And then Grand Canyon takes on St. Mary's, one of The winner of that game will take on Alabama in the round of 32. That is starting late at night, almost
I'm gonna say
11 o'clock my
I
time.
don't know
So
if I'm gonna stay up for that one. That was gonna be rough to watch, or not rough to watch, rough to stay up for.
absolutely. But all right, guys, that kind of does it. Any closing thoughts for tonight going forward?
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Can you give me two teams that you were very impressed with today?
Today, UConn for sure. Look, they took care of business. I know it's Stetson, they're a 16 seed, but I mean, UConn is UConn. I mean, this team. Look, I picked Arizona to win the national championship, but I'm kind of going off of an upset. But I mean, if I was to tell you the best team in the country right now, it's UConn. And then Clemson impressed
Okay.
me.
Yeah. I would go Texas A&M. They impressed me a lot, actually. And the final is not yet. Of course, UConn impressed me. I would probably go Houston.
I would agree with that.
Houston. Now, with
I
the
mean, they're
game,
just destroying Longwood. So
looking at the schedule for tomorrow, the games we have tomorrow. Games we have tomorrow. At 11:45, we have Dayton versus Arizona. Should be a good one. At 2:15, you have Gonzaga versus Kansas. Should be a good game. Michigan State and North Carolina at 4:30. Should be a good game.
hush.
At 5:10, you have Washington State, Iowa State. That should be good. At 6:10, you have the Cinderella run for either one of these two teams. You have Oakland versus North Carolina State. Personally, I'll be going for Oakland. Um, Next at 7, you have Texas and Tennessee. That'll be good to watch. 7:40, you have Duquesne versus Illinois, and then 8 o'clock, 8:40, you have Oregon and Creighton.
Should be another fantastic day of college basketball tomorrow. But I think that does it for today's recap. I guess we'll see everybody tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. You know what? We're gonna keep rocking on, guys. March Madness is here. We sleep in May.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, /X, whatever you want to call it. And be sure to like and subscribe below, everybody. We appreciate it. Heads up play. We out.